Saturday today, and we are on the 20th of March, and if you follow me on Insta you'll know that I'm on day 2 of my cycle today, as yesterday I came on AF. I was a little bit downbeat because I really thought I was in with such a good chance, because we hit like 4 days in a row with the baby dancing. As you know, I'm TTCing for baby number 6, and we're now on the CLEARBLUE fertility monitor. And I was counting that as cycle 3 because the first cycle was January, unsuccessful. And then I had the mid-cycle bleed, which I had to start the monitor again. So I just thought, well, let's put cycle 2 aside and let's count cycle 3 as this one that's just gone. So most people have success with these monitors within 6 months, and a lot of people are hitting the 2nd and 3rd time of trying. So although deep down this one that I'm on now is really only cycle 3, because I only had such a short cycle, unusually, middle of February, I am counting it still as cycle 4, so my 4th try of the fertility CLEARBLUE monitor. But I do feel super confident with it. I just feel in the tip-top shape that I've ever have been, you know, not drinking caffeine, staying on those COQ10 in their purest form, 900 milligrams a day. I've started those in July. So, you know, a lot of people have said once they are in your system after 3 months, then your eggs start coming good. We know it takes 90 days to make a good egg, and 90 days your sperm is regenerated as well. We haven't spoke about that actually, but my gynecologist actually said sperm and eggs sort of rejuvenate every 90 days. So Aaron's doing his bit on his prenatal vitamins. He's not stopped taking them. He takes a Wellman fertility one every day, 2 cod liver oil, which he needs for his lifting and that at work anyway. But cod liver oil is super good if you don't have a lot of fish in your diet. Well, Aaron does eat fish, but probably only about once a fortnight. Yeah, so he takes that, and he takes a vitamin C. He does drink caffeine, but like 3 small cups a day. He drinks at the weekends, not a huge amount, but he drinks like a few beers at the weekends. So we are in good health, and I was a little bit disappointed I didn't fall pregnant because, as you know, I love holistic therapy. I love my reflexology, which I haven't been able to have now since December, which has been a bummer because that gets my adrenals going, and it's as good as acupuncture, really. It really is brilliant if you're TTCing. But I haven't been able to have that. And what I was saying is, with the vitamins, the reflexology, the eating well, sort of moderate exercise, I do think I'm doing my best to create that absolute tip-top egg. And I'm just doing all I can, and baby dancing as frequently as possible is meant to be good as well. But with this fertility monitor, it gives you your high days, your low days, your peak days. And once you reach peak, it shows you 2 peak days. Now, we did hit a high, and I did the deed that day, and then we missed a day, did the next day. Then I was like, oh my god, what if we reach peak, because we're coming up to day 13? And I got a bit panicky, and I wished I hadn't have done in a way. But basically Aaron and I sort of did a high, missed one, then did like 2 consecutive highs, then 2 consecutive peaks. So we did the deed 4 days in a row. And Aaron said to me, I don't like doing it like that, Ingrid. He said, I just enjoy it when it's every other day. He said, I feel it's better quality sperm. I feel it's more enjoyable. And I was like, I know. I just got a little bit like, oh, I didn't want to miss a moment. Do you know what I mean? And as you know, I'm into holistic therapy and tarot card reading. I know not everyone is, but I am. And Vashti has told me all along in my last 18 months to 2 years of readings that I'm going to have a baby, and it's going to be a fire sign, and she's definitely seeing me baby number 6. She just sees it in every reading I have. So that just gives me so much belief and reassurance. I know it doesn't float everyone's boat. I know people say believe in your body, believe in the universe. Just stay positive and calm and focused, but don't really read too much into that. But that's what I believe in, and I like it. And I really thought it would have been great if I'd have fallen this cycle, because it would have meant slap bang into a fire sign. It would have been the same time I fell for my baby girl, who's a fire sign. I would have fallen around the 8th of March. Well, my peak fertile time was the 4th of March, and we hit the 4th of March, 6th and 5th of March. So I think I ovulated the 5th or the 6th, which would have meant I would have been due the baby around the 27th, 28th of November, which would have been slap bang fire. However, if I fall this cycle, it means that my fertile time will be around the end of March. I've sort of done it loosely that if I if I do ovulate between day 12 and day 14, which could happen, I ovulated day 12 and day 13 in January, and this time round it was day 15 and 16, my 2 peaks. So if I ovulate day 12 and 13, which is good, it's normal, it's great, you know, any day between 11 and 18 is normal for people, depending on your cycle length, you know, depending if you've got a 21 day to 42 day cycle, you could be anywhere. But my normal, well, I say normal, I have ovulated different times quite a lot. I'm not a slap bang in the middle 14 day girl. Like you know by my videos, it's been day 13 quite a few times and day 15 quite a few times. So rule of thumb, I can't really say, because this time round my peak was 15 and 16, and in January my peak was 13, day 12 and 13. And February I didn't have one because I was waiting for my peak, and on day 16 I had that mid-cycle bleed. So I'm a bit disappointed, yes. My GP's not concerned because I'm having regular periods. They're not clotty, they're not heavy, they're not painful. They're not all sporadical all over the table, all over the shop. I'm not having hot night sweats. I'm not showing any signs of menopause or anything. So she thinks to just keep trying, unless I've got obviously money to go down the private route of ultrasounds and scans and God knows what, which Aaron's not willing to do, and I can't do it on my own without his support. So I've just got to stay on the natural route. So my natural route is taking the COQ10. I'm on DHA Vital capsules. I've been on them along with it, which my friend Sophie, who's pregnant currently with a baby girl due in the next month or two, she heard about it from Louisa Ziesman, flagged it up to me. Loads of women are on these little combos of vitamins, and they're having success within 6 months of doing it. I mean, some women have been on the capsules and the COQ10 and literally had success in making a baby within 6 weeks to 8 weeks. It was amazing. My gynecologist said to me on the phone when I spoke to her back in November, when I was getting my progesterone all ready for this time that I get my BFP, she said, what you're doing is brilliant. She said, you could not take a better combination in my eyes if you're trying to do it all natural. She said that is absolutely brilliant, and the fact that you're taking it with the folic acid is fine, but you can always change that to a prenatal Pregnacare if you fancy it. And that's exactly what I did. I did the iron tablet with it and a folic acid, and now I've chopped that to a Pregnacare. So I'm on a Pregnacare, DHA Vital capsules ×2, and 3 of the COQ10, which is 900 milligrams. I've been on that since July. So the good news is it takes 3 months for all this to get working in your body properly, and 3 months is 90 days, which makes you a good egg. I've been on all of this now since July, so the good news is Aaron's coming now, so I'm going to have to tail off and finish this video a bit later. But the good news is it's onwards and upwards for my good healthy egg, and I'll be back later to finish off this vid. See ya. Hi, so that was a bit of a break. We were just coming out of the shops, and I thought I'd get on quickly and tell you how I was doing as I'm cycle day 2, and then Aaron was coming out of the supermarket, so I had to stop filming. So it's quite a bit on now. It's 3:30 and it's Saturday still, and I just wanted to tell you what the plan ahead was, how I was feeling. And like I said to you, I felt bummed because Vashti, my tarot card reader, strongly sees that I'm going to have a 6th baby. It's come up every single reading for the last 2 years. And I've had like 3 to 4 readings a year. That really makes me feel positive. Last reading was September, and I've got one actually next Thursday. And in September, she actually, I don't know whether you remember, but it was the end of September, beginning of October, and she went, "You're pregnant now, aren't you?" And I was only 10 DPO. And I said, "I don't know, I'm in the 2-week wait, so I could be, I'm not sure." She said, "I think you are." She said, "But I don't know why, it's just not quite working out on the times that I'm seeing, because I'm seeing fire sign baby, decorations around, you carrying all happy over winter, everyone's relieved, and there's a real buzz in the air, but that doesn't work out, so I don't know, we'll have to come back to that." And she sort of left it like that, and that turned out to be the chemical pregnancy I had, because I tested the day later, which was 11 DPO, and I was a faint positive, and then I tested, if you remember, 12 and 13 DPO, and then by 14 it was very faint. So yes, I was pregnant, but it turned out to be a chemical, and that was like around beginning of October, so it was all very relevant to my reading. And then I was meant to be having a reading with her beginning of December, and she actually said, look, Ingrid, I'm going to be honest with you. We've had quite a few readings in the year, and every time I'm seeing a baby, I'm seeing healthy baby, a sixth baby, a fire sign baby, and I see lots about your boy and his football. She said, but it's a very much samey reading all the time. She said, and sometimes I give you the guide and you just got to sit back and let things happen. And I don't feel I'm seeing anything different. So I think you've just got to like maybe have a little rest from the readings for a bit. So we sort of verbally agreed I'd get back to her February time. And she said, hopefully by then you might have some news with the baby. We've kept in touch via texts. And I did say to her, I think I texted her about 4 weeks ago going, I'm coming up to the fire sign cycle. And she's like, fingers crossed, chick, you've got this. And she's all very positive and it makes me feel in a good place. So I was really, really hoping it would be that I'd fall this cycle, because it would have been, like I said, due around between the 25th, 26th of November, the same time as my other baby that I had, my fifth baby. She was due the 27th of November and conceived around the 6th of March. Well, it was the 6th of March. And I had my peak this time around the 4th of March. So I was thinking, oh my goodness, this falls on us fire. It's such a good sign. But I don't know whether, because we did the deed 4 times in a row, whether the sperm was weak. I don't know whether maybe it was a duff egg that I had, or whether God's timing wasn't right. Don't know. Didn't happen. So yes, I was a bit peed off. I didn't have a lot of symptoms. I had a lot of yellow CM, creamy CM, and I was really tired. But the kids have just gone back to school literally 2 weeks ago, which is a huge relief. However, it's still on your mind about COVID, isn't it? Plus my washing has tripled, because they have to have obviously clean uniforms every day, whereas normally I let a shirt and the skirts go 1 extra day and let them have fresh shirts every day. And I'm literally washing their blazers every night, their skirts every night. There's a lot more washing to do, and I've still got my 4-year-old at home because I've not sent her back to nursery, so it's still a little bit stressful and tired, and maybe that wasn't a symptom, I was just feeling that way. So when it got to, I was due on, so 28 days would have been St Patrick's Day, the 17th, which is Wednesday. 29 days would have been the Thursday. And I, like I say, rule of thumb, 28, 29 day cycle. And the monitor that I have, this, which I'm using, came up that I could start testing on Wednesday, and I just didn't want to test. And my friend was saying, perhaps that's a sign. Isn't it weird that you always want to test but you don't this time? Perhaps that's all saying you are. And I think I just didn't want to see the negative, because I'm thinking, well, my boobs don't hurt, I'm not super thirsty. Sometimes I feel a bit icky and salivary when I'm pregnant. I didn't feel pregnant. Emotionally, I felt like I was, because of the fire sign, and it just felt, it's such an amazing time to be pregnant. I had a great pregnancy with my 5th. Absolutely enjoyed every minute. Loved carrying over the winter. It would have coincided perfectly with what Vashti said, like decorations up, everyone relieved. So I just didn't want to break the dream, if you like, by testing. So I ignored this, saying I could test, which it doesn't flash. It just says you can test, and I didn't. And then I went to bed Wednesday, and when I wasn't on my period Thursday, I was like super hopeful. Same time, didn't have anything other than the CM. Didn't feel pregnant. I've got to be honest, I didn't feel pregnant. I wasn't extra hungry, extra tired. Like I say, tiredness and CM was the only things really that could correlate to pregnancy and PMS. I don't really get bad periods either. I get super bad ovulation pain, as you know. Didn't get really bad ovulation pain this time. If 10's really, really bad, I was on a 7. So I definitely ovulated, definitely worked out on here perfectly. But yeah, wasn't meant to be. But then I am due a reading with Vashti on Thursday, because we delayed the reading. She sort of said February is a little bit busy. Why don't we leave it to March, and I might have some good news. And yes, that's how we've left it. But as I was saying, if I fall this cycle, I've worked out my fertile time should be around the 28th to 30th. Well, if I ovulate day 12, day 13, which could happen, it happened in January, I could then fall I could fall around the 29th. If I ovulate day 12, day 13, that'd be like day 28th of March to the 31st of March will be a good fertile time if I ovulate between day 11 and day 13. That's what I've worked out. So if that happens, I don't want to ovulate earlier than day 11, obviously, but any time from day 12 onwards is good. Well, 12 and 13 works out, I think, the 30th and 31st of March. that works out perfectly with a fire sign baby. And I know you guys are probably thinking, God, shut up, it's just in God's hands or universe plans. But I do believe in God. I do believe in the universe has a plan, but I also believe in Vashti normally gets it right. So if I fall pregnant this cycle, if you put in my last period, which is the 19th of March, it works out on a due date, calculate the 24th of February, 24th of December, Christmas Eve. Now, I have got 3 children that have all had sort of Christmassy birthdays. I've got my 5th one, which was my 5th little girl, that's the 2nd of December, so that's a fire sign sort of Christmassy month. My 3rd born is New Year's Eve, and my 1st born is New Year's Day. So perhaps that's a good time for me to fall pregnant and have perhaps I'm more fertile that time. That's what my other friend said. She said, well, you do like a Christmas baby, so maybe this will be your one. But then I was thinking, my first 2 babies were 5 days early. First 3 babies, 5 days early. And my last 2 babies, 5 days late. And that is so true. Because my firstborn was due on the 6th of January, came on the 1st. My little girl was due on the 19th of March. I had 2 due dates, 21st of March and then the 19th of March, and she came on the 14th of March. So, you know, and then my little boy was due 5th of January and came the 31st of December. So they were all early, and then 2 have been late. So if I miraculously do fall this cycle, my due date would be around the 24th of December. I could have a baby 5 days early and it'd still be fire. So that gives me real hope. And that is what today I worked out, which made me feel more positive. This is brilliant. Now, loads of you recommend me things all the time. There's a lovely lady called Dee Dee who follows me. She says, get an Ava bracelet, worn it once, fell pregnant with my girl straight away. Now, I was torn between this and the Ava bracelet. The Ava bracelet I think I was finding for about 200 quid and this was like 120. But this to me works out so much better for me. You can only use it if your period cycle's 21 days to 42 days and you haven't got any pre-existing medical conditions like PCOS or premenopausal or anything. They say you've really got to be... Sorry, I have no idea what happened, then it cut out. This is great if your periods are regular, sort of you haven't got PCOS or anything. So I went for this and I'm really glad because my friend Kate said it's brilliant. You put in your code number and today obviously, can you see that? It says I'm low and it's got today's date and time, and you register your period within the 4 days that your period starts, and it'll calculate whether it's, if you put in that you started your period I think 4 p.m. later, it starts the day the next day. But I had a 6 a.m. period, so I went to bed, as I was saying a minute ago, I was due on either St Patrick's Day, Wednesday, Thursday, and I came on in the early hours of the morning, but I can't be exact. I woke up around 6 o'clock, wiped, and there was loads of blood, so I thought, yeah, okay, I'll put in 6 a.m. So it started me as my period on Friday, which took me on to cycle day 30, but I came on in the night. I did have vivid dreams. I had 2 really vivid dreams. That could have been a hypergestrone surge. That's what normally vivid dreams come from, and that's why they say you do have them when you're pregnant. But that was, again, I was thinking, well, I sometimes have vivid dreams when I'm just about to come on my period. Anyway, I was just going to say, if you press the home button here, then and then I've got like, I was just going to show you how, if I press the dates, see what I mean? Can you see that? That's my March thing. So the 2 dark smiley faces up here was when I had my peaks. That's all the times we baby danced. And then the red little triangle with the circle is me coming on my period. And then these yellow ones are going to be the days I test. Now, the last 3 times I've used this, it said start testing day 6, but I'm counting along here and it says I'm going to start testing on day 7. So I think this has now got to know me and know my serum and know my levels, which is great. And if I go back on here, it is quite good because it does tell me all my, there you go, it says all my other data that I had, you know, when I had my periods, and you can go back on here and it really is good because it gives you, I just wanted to cycle summary, that's what I wanted to show you, that. Can you see, if you click onto settings, it shows you a cycle summary. So that's the first time I used it, and as you can see, I peaked day 12, day 13. Yeah, day 12 and day 13. That was my first cycle I set it up. So it was like a textbook period, 28-day cycle. Then that was my really upsetting February, came on day 16. but I counted that as a cycle, which I shouldn't have done. I should have really abandoned everything, got rid of that bleed, and then carried on. And then this one just gone. So it registers a 29-day cycle for me, and I peaked day 15 and day 16. But it is good. You can sort of go back on that. Now, all I've got to do is turn that on every day. It lets me know when I test. So I went for that. I couldn't afford to do Ava and that. And I just had 2 friends that had used this and said it's so good. Plus 2 or 3 of you got in touch with me via Instagram and said, get the CLEARBLUE monitor. It is brilliant. I've got one friend who started it around the same time as me. She's found it a little bit tricky because she's put in her testing frame as 5 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock. And it missed her surge. So you've really got to pick a time that you think will suit you. So if you tend to surge in the afternoon or evening, or you do shift work or whatever, you might want to tweak your days. But I just thought, you know what? I do normally get my surges anytime. I can have ovulation pain in the middle of the night where Aaron's rubbing my back. I can have it when I'm doing a school run. So there's no set time I ovulate. I have never been same ovulation all the time. And as I say to you, yeah, generally speaking, I think if you put all my ovulation times out, it probably does do more or less day 13 for me now. It used to always be about 15, day 15. But I think I've had more day 13s than anything. But again, it's not always on the same day, and it's definitely not on the same time for me. So I just choose 5 to 11 as my time to check on here, because that works out really easy for me. Because I think by the time I get up, have a shower, if the kids go out the door, it's still only 9 o'clock or 7:30. But if I want to get up really early before they wake up, I can test. It's a really good testing time for me. But I'm really in tune with my body anyway. And luckily, Abby, who bought this as well, she's in tune with her body, so she gets ovulation pain and CM. So she sort of said, I know I'm ovulating now, but I was on a high this morning. And then she had her surge, and it was obviously a short LH surge of about 12 hours. So when she came to testing the next day, it was back to high. It completely missed it. And we don't know whether something was up with her or something was up with the machine. And she phoned CLEARBLUE, and they actually said, you've just got to carry on testing really until it asks for no more tests. But she decided to just quit that cycle and wait for AF or wait for a BFP. But you've just got to really phone CLEARBLUE when that happens, because it could be a faulty machine. It could be your LH surge was super, super weak. And like I say, it's different every single time. Do you know what I mean? I don't think this is affected by drinks, like, you know, the cheap paper strips. If you drink too much and test, they can affect the results. And also, they always ask you to test in the afternoon. This is a morning tester. So you've got to look into what suits you. An Ava watch might suit you better, where you keep it on all the time and it just monitors your heart rate and your temperature, and it tells you when to do the deed. I mean, it does sound amazing. And the obvious sense someone recommended to me, that wouldn't be my bag at all. I've looked into it. I don't fancy that at all. But definitely, I think if this didn't work, I might give it, like I say, I think I'd give that another 6 months and then the Ava bracelet. But Aaron does want to sort of say, if we haven't fallen by September, we're going to have to move on. But I'm not ready to sort of think like that at the moment. I just want to think positive, that I'm healthy, I'm still young, I have my periods, they're regular, I ovulate regular, I've got my monitor. I've had a friend that's exactly the same age as me who had her little boy in December. And she was like me, she miscarried twice and had a really bad illness, septicemia. And then literally 2 months later, she fell pregnant with her beautiful boy. And he was born in December. That gave me immense hope. And she did it just once. She said, we were doing it all the time and trying. And then I got poorly. And then I had like a month of like not drinking and trying to get back to good health. And we literally did it one night when I got a positive OPK and I fell. And she had a little boy in December. And then my other really good friend, who obviously a very good best friend who recommended this, she did it once with her husband on a peak surge. She said, Ingrid, don't keep doing it with Aaron. Just literally get a heart, maybe get one out your system and then just wait. And when you get that peak, go for it. It'll be nice, strong, good stuff and it will work. So I might do that this time. Just do one and get it out the system, you know, all the old sperm, and then just wait for my peak and do it. But I don't want to have a short week LH surge and then surge in the day and completely miss it. I'll be really pissed off. That's what worries me and stays on my mind, because Abby's just had that. She's either had a weak LH surge that wasn't picked up enough to peak twice, or it was really, really short. We don't know. I don't know. So what I want to do is try and get a few baby dances in every other day and hit that peak. But like last time, we did a high and then we literally had a peak. So we went high, peak, peak, high. And I think it wore Aaron out and it might have weakened the sperm. I don't know. It might not have been our time. So yes, I felt awful. I felt a bit bummed. I was crappy yesterday. But, you know, I've got two really good friends at the same sort of age as me. Like I say, one has gone through exactly what I went through and had her baby in December and fell naturally. My other friend is just 2 years younger than me and it's her 6th baby and she fell one try. She set up her monitor in January, one try. So that gives me immense hope. But yeah, I'm going to let you know how I get on with my reading with Vashti. Thank you for asking for vlogs. Sometimes I need that little push. I wasn't going to do one until 2 week wait, but I feel a bit better now. I feel a bit in check with myself. And yeah, so vitamins are all in place. I've just got my DHA Vital through the post today. I ran out of them yesterday afternoon, so I didn't take one last night, but I took a cod liver oil capsule in its place just so that there was something there. You're not meant to take them when you're pregnant, but I just thought it's an oil omega capsule that would just fill the gap, and it just did because they arrived today, so that's fine. I'm all tip top with those. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for all your baby dust and support. I wish you all well in your journeys, and do let me know where you were at. But I'm cycle day 2. I'm counting this as cycle 4 on the monitor. But obviously, I haven't had, this will be my 3rd proper cycle, hopefully, fingers crossed. So hopefully we have no hiccups of mid-cycle bleeds or any hiccups where the baby dancing don't happen. And let's hope that my reading goes well and they see a fire sign baby and I do fall and I have the baby a few days early. That's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, thank you for watching, and remember, thumbs up and subscribe. I want those subscribers to climb. We're still stuck at 700 odd, so yeah, let's try and get them up to 1,000 so I can get a community tab. Love you all. See you soon. Bye.